producers just struggle with like how to actually interact with their customers and how to actually turn that interaction into a sale. So like, I know, you know, that's something obviously you've gotten pretty good at. Is there anything, any kind of like tips or tricks or anything that you picked up over the years that producers could apply?
I mean, I think the biggest thing is understanding that, especially now more than ever, when everyone is understanding, you know, the personal brand aspect of everything. I always say, you know, you can hop on YouTube and find thousands of great beats, right? For free, by the way, for free. So it's like, understand that people, you know, if you want, especially clients who are spending, you know, over $1,000, let's say, right? Because not the random leases here and there, whatever, but, you know, continuously who are working with you. It's like, it's probably not just the beats, you know,
Right.
It's something that they like about you. It's something that, you know, the fact that you respond. I mean, what baffles me is so many, like earlier today, someone bought a beat. It was like, hey man, you know, there was an issue. Like, you know, BeatStars thing didn't send me the download link. I was like, cool, no problem. I checked it. You know, I downloaded the beats. I sent him a weed transfer. It took me 12 minutes. Not a big deal. It happens. And he was like, wow, man, thanks for the quick response. Like, it's that kind of customer service, you know, that's going to make him remember versus someone who just doesn't even respond. And I've heard like a lot of people be like, you know, especially the big top producers, the ironic part about it is that, you know, their ego gets in the way and they think that, oh, I'll respond like 3 days later or whatever, like just, oh, fuck this guy, who cares? And that's when I know producers who used to make, you know, $5,000, $10,000 a month who are now back to working a job.
Right.
And honestly, it's because of that. You know, it's because whether they got, you know, stuck to just one platform and didn't understand that, hey, SoundClick is a great platform. YouTube is a great platform. Their algorithms will change and it can really fuck up everything for you. But if you take the time to siphon those artists from that platform and then connect with them on email, Instagram, whatever is comfortable for you, right? Because each platform is different. And, you know, just follow up, just know who your customers are. I mean, I say like in a numbers game, the beautiful thing about this is even if you make totally niche beats, you know, you don't need millions of followers. If you find those 300 dudes who, you know, spend $200 with you a year,
right?
There's 60K as that number again, right? For example, that's enough for anyone in the world, I think, as a single male at least, to, you know, live a pretty good life and in their 20s, whatever, get started, right? So that's the goal. And when you break it down to those numbers, it's much easier to where you're not focusing on, oh man, this guy has hella followers or whatever it is. Like, I know guys who have 3,000 followers and make, you know, $100,000 a year because they know all those 3,000 people.
Yeah.
And
no,
one by one, built with those people. And by the way, when that person releases a new song, whether it's produced by you or not, you give them a like. Costs you nothing, takes 2 seconds, but it's that attention that shows, oh man, he supports. Give him a comment, right? Like simple things, be human on this fucking operating system that's so fake and all this shit, you know, going on. If you just still be human about it, you know, it's the same reason why people go into a coffee shop, maybe to chat. People go to a bar to chat still, right? It's those simple things. And especially an artist who emotionally, who is, you know, really starving for attention, obviously from his ego perspective, but also just for someone to listen and be supportive when their entire family probably isn't. You know, from age 15 to 25, I just heard, when are you going to go back to school? What are you doing with your life? Like, no one gives a shit about my music. Like, and I don't expect my 80-year-old grandpa to, like, you know, fucking support me, whatever, crazily, right? But understand that that's where they're coming from, especially if they're from a little city and they have all these other things where probably their friends aren't around, you know, a lot of musicians and stuff. So just that simple support, that could be that extra reason why someone, instead of buying 1 or 2 beats from you because they just heard it and liked it, goes to buying 10, 20, 30. And I think that's the difference, especially when you see that person, you work out, you know, on a level, like I had a long-term customer, you know, I always do like at least half his album. I'm not expecting to, you know, produce all 13 tracks, but the difference between him buying 1 or 2 and me upgrading, be like, hey bro, you know, if you get 5, you know, let me do a deal, give me a down payment, we can work out some numbers. Like, that's selling.
Yeah.
That is selling, just like anything that you do. First of all, you're selling yourself to get that attention so they hit you up, right? Or you hit them up. And that's what you do with your content, right? and then, you know, you go in and actually sell. Don't be scared to ask. Like, the money trend, you know, be about business. Like, oh, like, it's funny. One thing I've never really posted about is like, hating on like artists. Like, oh, these rappers don't want to pay. These rappers are broke. Why are you making content to talk shit about your customers?
That is a great point.
Like, even if whatever, like, they don't owe you nothing.
Right.
You know, like, why are you so entitled that people have to pay you and do all this? Like, people will pay you when you're worth something, you know? And I think it's like, you should make content to get them involved and all this kind of stuff. And then what happens, you know, the producers who are like, especially like all these ghost producers who I know who like, usually they're like in Europe and stuff. And like, they won't even post their picture. They're just like, they've been around for 10 plus years, you know, just like keep selling. It's probably because of that, the consistency with everything,
Right.
you know, and just knowing that just return customers, return.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think there's a lot there of what you just said. Like, you know, for one thing is like the platforms are going to constantly change and evolve. And so the more that you can create that connection with them, both like as a person, but then also like if you can get them on your list, like your email list is something that like, that's an asset that you own, right? Or if you get them on like SMS, right? You get them on text or something.
Yeah, the texting thing is actually really interesting. I've been seeing a lot of people, because like, you know, you can text them also, you know, a buy link, like you can text them a fucking PayPal invoice. Like, I mean, and it's just, you know, whether it's connecting on WhatsApp or worldwide, you know, especially, you know, it's funny, like I live in Russia and the Russian producers complain about, oh, I need to get out to the West and, you know, and then Americans like forget that there's like all these European rappers and this huge culture in the UK and Australia and everything, or it's like, that's the whole point of the internet, that it's all connected. And like, you get on WhatsApp and like, you can text someone in the UK and be like, oh, it's good, man. How's the music going? Like, shoot me a link, right? So just, yeah, connecting on all those levels.